Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where we are approximately 19 minutes away from the start of the 2026 Winter Summit. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If this is your first time tuning into XP Waste, welcome. This is a special episode. We're also streaming this, so that makes it a little bit more interesting. But we're a podcast that's going to talk about old school RuneScape. And this week, we're very, very excited because this week we're going to be live reacting and streaming our reaction to the 2026 Winter Summit. So, if you guys haven't seen, Winter Summit is going to be, like Oxie said, in about 20 minutes. And we're just here hanging out. We're here chatting, chilling, and waiting for this wonderful stream to start. So I guess we can fill the time by talking
By
about
starting the stream on Twitch.
I don't okay,
Can we not do both?
No. Not after we've already started.
What?
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's cringe.
You
Well,
said YouTube.
send everyone the YouTube link. So, while Michael sorts out all of the nonsense while we do that, nobody really cares about watching that. So, the people who are listening on Spotify right now, though, on the screen now is this month's Wise Old Man patrons. We should have updated it. So, ideally, there should be some names on there that should be there and names that have been removed. So, Wise Old Men, you guys are awesome. And some of you are joining us here today in the recording booth. We are going to hop on over, though, for our patrons. If this feels rushed, yes, it is, because the stream starts soon and we want to make sure we are just ready to go for it. So, kicking us off in the KBD tier, huge shout out to Two to Fly, my dad. Hi, Dad. Cloud Kicker, Crash Out Jack, Yama Edition, Elite Oreo Dunker, Glob Mob, Kieran, our third favorite Patreon supporter, Ralph, Run Middle 15, Ryan M, Rylithian, Stragarius, and the Big G Jordy. Thank you guys so much for your support at the KBD tier. Y'all mean the world to us, and you guys are fantastic. Speaking of groups of people who are fantastic, we are going to transition now to talk about the other group of Patreon supporters who support us at the highest tier, the Doesn't Talk Dad tier. So, huge shout out to Franz Skyway, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Petite River, Rack and Roll, Soggy Waffles, the S tier Deviled Egg, and Woloznik. Thank you guys so much for your unwavering support at the highest tier. I don't know what we're doing about shirts. Are new shirts coming?
We haven't
Do we have
figured
to
that
create
out.
a New Year's cycle of shirts?
Probably.
We should figure it out.
Yeah, we
Let's say
should.
people are paying us a lot. We got to figure that out real quick. So we'll have word on the shirts here very soon. Just keep your eyes out for the XPWaste chat announcement for that. If you guys want to support us, head on over to patreon.com/XPWaste, and you can support us for as little as $1 a month or free. I'm not your mom. Do whatever. Okay. Now that bit is out of the way, there's not going to be a community question. There's not going to be achievement of the week this week. Sorry, guys. I hate to disappoint. If you're watching this on Spotify, the stream starts in about 15 minutes. And if you're watching this live, the stream starts in about 15 minutes. But for Spotify people, we are here recording just before the Winter Summit is about to start. Michael and I are going to chat for a minute. They're just wrapping up the Dead Man factions right now. And then we are going to live react to what we see on the summit. So here in a couple of minutes, we're going to do a really cool, like, superhero fade transition. And we're just going to talk about our thoughts after the fact, because you guys don't watch the stuff on Spotify. You have the video pulled up, but like, we know Spotify is an audio platform, not a video one. So if you want to watch our actual live reactions to the stream, go check it out on our YouTube channel. It will be posted there. It's just like a public, Oxie and Michael react to the Winter Summit. And then we are streaming live on YouTube right now, I believe, not Twitch. We're still got to figure out a way to stream on both at the same time one of these days. But we got another year to figure it out, because realistically, the next summit's going to be at RuneFest, which we are going to be at. Now, last week, we talked about possible predictions for the summit this year.
And by the way, there will be spoilers if you're watching this.
Oh, yeah. Brother, if you haven't seen the summit, it came out like 4 days ago. If you haven't seen the summit at this point, y'all got to get with it,
Yeah.
Y'all absolutely got to get with it.
Do you have the YouTube chat pulled up?
I do, yes. I
Hello, chat.
finally popped it open. Hello, chat. I'm gonna be moving stuff all over here. Move that right there. I suppose I don't
This
need
is
your
where I feel
face
like I
open.
still need 3 monitors because I have a 34-inch ultra wide, then I have another monitor here, but it would be nice to have a third monitor.
I should log in and sail. So, Michael, we have talked last week about some of our predictions. I know we talked pretty extensively about the Varlamore Achievement Diary. Anything else that comes to the top of your mind that's like, oh yeah, this is definitely coming? Anything
Well,
just like totally out of left field?
yeah, if I'm using our YouTube comments and their predictions as content,
That honestly, this could be a perfect time to briefly look over some of those
yeah, I'm
answers and
down.
comments.
So back when last week when we asked y'all what your predictions were, there was only a couple of answers on YouTube, but one of them did say a mining and skilling rework. No, that was on Spotify. So like a smithing rework. Oh no, it was here. Metal Maniac said predicting will have a skill rework for smithing since the old level up table is outdated. So Jagex already is in the mindset of a new skill. They've been working on it for the last 2 years. And as they're working to improve sailing, why wouldn't they also just allocate some resources to updating old, outdated skills? Because I think if I had to rank my requests for development in order of skills, like in the realm of like skills, it would be update old skills first and then work on new skills. It wouldn't be
Mhm.
the other way around. Because like we have 23 skills that have been out since 2007. And instead of working to develop shamanism or taming or whatever they bring out next, just bring the other skills up to par with the newest one. Smithing is a great candidate. I think agility needs to be looked at as far as how it still fits into this game. When you think about run energy and that being a mechanic, it's not that it's outdated, but I do think that it still needs to be addressed. Run energy is not the worst after they updated it. I will concede that. They've done a great job with making a training agility somewhat useful, but like there's still it's we're getting band-aid fixes, right? We're getting the double stamina potion. We're getting all these things that just like they're shortening the shortcuts. But it's not addressing the root of the skill and the issues that I see with it. I need to turn off Discord sounds.
You just despise RIP agility. Michael definitely despises agility. My man
It
is not
needs
an
work.
agility enjoyer.
It needs work. Having trained the skill to 99 for what benefit? I'm looking back. I'm like, did I do 10,000 laps on Artie just to have the cape? Yes. But what if that achievement of getting 99 came with a significant like a significant perk? People have been saying like once you get to 99, run energy doesn't exist. That's not outside of the
I
realm of possibilities in my mind.
I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. That would fundamentally alter combat in RuneScape, and I don't think they're ever going to do that
And I think
because run
that
energy is a
that
combat mechanic, and I don't think they're going to touch it.
that mindset, while has its merits, is also the overarching problem. I'm not saying you're the problem. Don't take it personal. But
Oh, I'm not. I know where you're accidentally going with this, and I want to see
the
if you
i-
walk right into it or
the
not.
idea of not being able to change things because it ruins a meta is a fundamental flaw with a lot of things, not just RuneScape. We can't change it because that would disrupt too many folks. It goes back to the conversation of XP. Why is the best XP per hour for rune crafting calculated against having people run you essence? That's not rune crafting. Rune crafting at its core is making runes, not
It's a of
expecting
summons.
other people to bring you the materials so that you can get the best XP rates. So
I
when we're
mean,
looking at things that they don't touch because it disrupts a meta, rune crafting is another great example. They'll never make anything better than like 5-man lava rune running because they can't. They don't want to.
But
They
like,
can.
do you really want do you want every single skill to have the same 400k XP right now?
It's
Or
not
like,
400k.
do you
I'm just
no?
saying
But no,
at
but
$99,
I'm asking, do you want every single
and I'm
skill
answering you.
to be that samey that
No.
every method matches the best XP per hour for every other skill in the game?
I want a consistency across the board that is in line with progression and reward. So think of it like this: 35 rune crafting, you get lava runes. 35 rune crafting becomes the meta for training rune crafting to 99. Not
Yeah.
when you get to 91 and you can make double natures, not when you get to 95, I think it is, and you can make wrath runes. Wrath runes are like 45k an hour, XP per hour.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, because that's how skilling has always worked in RuneScape. What's the other trade-off with double natures and double deaths?
It's not even that good of money.
But it's still
It's a
money.
consumable resource that people use consistently that gets taken out of the game. So
Yes,
there's
which is why it's consistent money. It's not Dexter's prayer scrolls, you know?
huh.
I don't know if we are going to get as dramatic of a rework to some of these old skills. And I was actually talking about this with Tiki earlier because Tiki brought up a mining and smithing rework. I don't think that they're going to touch mining and smithing so dramatically. I mean, they might. I could be totally wrong, but at the same time, if they change mining and smithing, they essentially take an element of old school RuneScape and just delete it. It's not being upgraded. It's not being changed for the better. This is just an element that was from the 2007 reboot that just doesn't exist anymore, right? And people are really weird about that. And Jagex is kind of weird about that. I just don't know if they're going to be so gung ho to be like, hey, we're going to make rune armor craftable at level 45 smithing because RS3 has a better system. RS3 does objectively have a better system. Having experienced it in leagues, I am not going to sit here and say the old school system is perfect. It's not even good. The problem is it's old school, right? And what does it look like once we've got new stuff developed? Oh, they just flashed Aiza and Kieran, I think.
Oh,
Um,
should we move to
uh,
that screen? It's got the countdown
sure,
on it.
we might as well, yeah. So editing, Michael, have fun making this switch from turning the desktop audio on to turning my audio off. Or maybe leave my audio on so we can finish out this first section of the episode here because we're not technically done with this first section of the episode yet. But I'm interested to see if that's the route they're going to take. I think they are disrupting something that has been old school for so long. I don't know if they're going to do that. I could be mistaken, but I don't know if that's the route they're going to take with a full mining and smithing rework.
Sure.
I
Sure.
would not be upset. I would not be upset because wow, RS3 is a better system. I just think they're weird about removing things because they're old school. You know, it's the same conversation about run energy. They're not going to get rid of run energy because it's integrated deeply into the combat. And unless you are calling for combat to, what's the word I'm looking for? Evolve a little bit over time. I don't know
I feel
if
like
that's
combat
going to happen.
has evolved. We've gotten a lot of things. My friend Greg is an example, and
Hmm.
he was talking to me about his GM helm getting Grandmaster. He said never in his life did he think he would be able to do Grandmaster combat achievements, but he said it has
Hmm.
become significantly easier than it once was. It is still a crowning achievement. Don't get me wrong. You've done some of the hardest things in this game, but like I would consider Greg to be a good player, but not a great player, and he still did it. So sooner or later, we have to come to terms with power creep. We have to come to terms with the fact that maybe one day it's not going to be as prestigious to get a fire cape or an infernal cape. It's not. It's going to become as easy as it is, like, not as easy as a fire cape, obviously. I shouldn't say that, but it will become tremendously easier as new gear comes out and as this game gets changed. And I think that for my enjoyment of the game, I would rather go with the flow than to give a big stink because they changed smithing. You know what I mean?
I don't know if a big stink is how people are going to describe it. At least that's how I would describe it. I just think that there's how do I put it succinctly, I guess? Power creep is going to happen. Obviously, look at like Emberlight versus Arclight. Look at the year gap between them. I don't think the game is afraid of power creep, period. I think power creep needs to be spread out. There needs to be something that like Yama with just an Arclight would be awful, relatively speaking, because Emberlight just is a better weapon.
Yeah.
You know, there needed to be a tentacle whip. There needed to be, the eventual Bofa over the between Tebow and blowpipe and all that. Like there needed to be all these things. So when power creep is needed, sure, that's totally fine. I don't think they've made a ton of mistakes in terms of power creep. I just think the accessibility for some of them has been an issue, notably with Oath Plate and pretty much everything from TOA, specifically the Fang. So there have been some blunders over the years, but I don't think they're afraid of power creep. I just think suggesting changing is not. I don't know. It's not an old school change, and I think because of that, the community as a whole is not going to love it. I don't think the devs are going to love it either. But we do have some predictions in the chat here. Tiki says Blood Moon Rising, Sailing Part 2, Quest for Menaphos plus Raids 4, old quest line continuation, please, for the love of a god. I know people are saying penguins. I want White Knights. I wanted White Knights for so long. After we get the Marique storyline, which we know we're getting, leagues, the mining smithing, which wilderness expansion, and then group bosses, skilling outfits, and then diaries. So that's a prediction we have
Hell
here.
yeah.
Thogert says she wants a farming sepulcher, which Tithe Farm is shitty enough. But Vacant Void and Sudtone are actually bringing up really good points in the chat. In the what's it called, in the recording booth chat, that is, that if skilling had harder combat, harder content like Sepulcher, we'd probably be looking good for better XP rates an hour. I accidentally just bent one of my metal swords, but I think we're about to get started here soon. I think Elemental Workshop 3, Justice for the Drunken Dwarf, Sea Slug GM.
Rathmaw Jr. Let's go, Brian.
Oh, that's crazy. I gotta work that day.
Refresh it. Okay, refreshing. Oh, they are live. Sick.
Well,
There's an
XP
ad.
Wasters, if you are listening on Spotify after the fact, we will see you guys very soon after this short break. For us, it's going to be a couple hours. For you guys, might be a couple of minutes. But either way, we'll see you very soon, and we will give you our thoughts post summit here in a little bit.
Hey, I'm the guy that sits I'm the guy that sits real far away. Not a lot of people come around here, but my name is, don't worry about my name. We don't do names here. You come here, you give me what I want, I give you what you want, alright? And we don't ask questions. I have a lot of bones. You don't ask me where I got the bones from. I don't ask you what you need with the bones. And that's how this works, alright? We don't ask questions, alright? You come in, you give me money, I give you bones. Human bones, animal bones, dog bones, any sort of bone. But on the one proviso, you don't ask me where I got the bones, and I don't ask you what you need with the bones. Alright? You look me in the eye. Because if you don't accept that, we're gonna have a problem. You wanna know my name? You can call me Dan. I'm Dan the Bone Man. That's all you need to know. Alright? And then when we're done, you never met me. I never met you, alright? This never happened. I don't know who you are, alright? Good. Now get the f out of here.
welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that Winter Summit because I know that I sure did. We originally did that a different way, but then had to stop because we were still live on YouTube, and Tiki told us to give us that. So shout out to you, Tiki. Oh, folks, when we say the summit is freshly over, we mean the summit is freshly over. It is currently 5:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 25th, and we are recording this. Summit wrapped up maybe 10 minutes ago.
Yep. We had a
Got
little
up,
potty
went to the
break.
bathroom, got a little food, and now we are back here to give kind of like a very brief, like, this is what we initially thought of it. This is not going to be a long second half of the episode. I'm not telling this to the audience. I'm telling this to Michael and I, who have a propensity to not shut the fuck up. So this is not going to be a long second half of the episode. So off the rip, Michael, the summit as a whole, how would you describe it? Give us your initial thoughts, summit as a whole.
I'm kind of disappointed only because we didn't get anything we didn't already know about, truly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, oh, my steak's too juicy, my lobster's too buttery.
Well,
like,
we got one thing.
we're getting the cow boss. We're getting we'll
get
getting
there.
really good content that I'm excited for. But it is always more fun to go into a summit not knowing. Like, none of the predictions that we had with like any skill reworks or new diaries, none of that was even on the roadmap. So it's not to say that that content won't come in the future, because there is a whole summer sweep that they're doing again. And we got a shit ton of new stuff in the summer sweep last year. So all that to say, it was great. I'm glad that we finally got, one, dates for things, and two, more information about the content. But I am kind of disappointed that like this was just kind of RuneFest Summit Part 2, when, it would have been really fun for them to not tease Blood Moon Rises or Raids 4 during the summit, and then we learn about it now here live. That would have been a lot more hype. It was hype in the beginning, but again, it's still cool. I'm not complaining.
To me, it's not even that like, oh, they shouldn't have ever teased anything in the past. It's just like, on the break, Tiki and I were chatting, and Tiki brought up like the older summits of how like the most famous summit, the like Winter Summit or Summer Summit of like 21, 22, whenever that was, when they were like, by the way, Group Iron Man, new quest, and here's Raids 3. Like that summit was insane. I feel like we compare a lot to that summit, or like, here's a new quest, here's a new prayer book. By the way, we're thinking about making a new skill. What do you think? Like, we've had some pretty banger summits in the past. And I think, all things considered, this was a pretty banger summit.
I would agree. Production was great. Again, the content they're talking about is going to be so fun. I told Oxie before I went and took a break, like 2026 is going to be huge for our game.
Yeah. I think the tricky part with this summit is, to Michael's point, and a point that we are going to probably touch on a little bit, is that everything they spoke about was stuff that we already knew about. So I've got the roadmap pulled up right here, and it's all stuff we knew, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But I remember when if you guys haven't watched the video, which I don't know why you would watch our YouTube video after the fact, but just in case you want to, go back and look at our live reactions for the first maybe 45 odd minutes. You guys have already watched the summit. That sounded really self-deprecating. I promise we have good content. You just already saw the summit, right? When the Raids 4 trailer played, I thought it was God Wars Dungeon 2. And
that one threw me through a loop, to be honest.
It was pretty exciting. Like, I did not expect it was going to be a Raids. I didn't think it was going to be a Raids announcement. I thought it was a quest. But that level of excitement, exactly. We thought like, oh my God, is this When the World Wakes? This is the Wild Gothic Sleep sequel. Like, oh, this is going to be super exciting. I think that is what Michael and I wanted more of.
Yeah.
That feeling of like, oh shit, what is coming to the game? But like everything else, we knew immediately. They did a very, very excellent job with the production quality
top
of
notch.
This stream.
Top notch.
All of the stuff that was edited, whether it was for the sailing blog or Mod Rice's utterly ridiculous accent, which, by the way, after that performance, I do need to sword fight with that man. We gotta talk about some things in the ring. Dude, the Demonic PAX trailer went insanely hard.
It's pretty good. I mean,
that Demonic PAX trailer was awesome.
I don't know I don't know and love the vampire storyline like I feel like you do. I feel like for
Mm-hmm.
you, if I had to speak for you and try and understand where you're coming from, like you didn't like grow up with it, but it was a big part of your old school journey going through
Oh
that
yeah.
quest series and for it to
Oh, I
finally
loved
come
it.
to an end with a finale and plus all the new
Oh
stuff
yeah.
that it's bringing to the game. It's hella exciting.
I don't know about you. I felt like I was like zoning out when they were talking about all the stuff that was coming. So it's like hunter, fishing, woodcutting, slayer, maggot, king boss, a couple of cool new rewards. Like nothing that I think is coming is going to be bad. New upgrade to the anguish. Hell yeah,
Pretty
that's
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
New crush weapon. Interested to see where that leaves the it's been a very popular theory. I don't know if you listen to Raids Bank, you'll hear Heartless talk about it a lot. The crush mega rare.
Yeah.
I don't know with the blood flail or whatever this thing is called, the crimson flail,
Crimson
crimson bludgeon.
Bludgeon. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's still room for that at this point with that item coming into the game because it's more of like a spec weapon like claws or void waker. It's still pretty cool though. I don't think anything that is coming from Blood Moon Rises is going to be a shitty update.
No.
Blood shards are going to go down in price. Hot dog. Slayer only Vire area. Hot dog. Love it.
New
You
arrows for
know?
your T-bow to go ahead to complement the necklace upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. I think some of the stuff it seems like it's pretty cool. You know, nothing wrong with that. Seems like it's pretty cool.
And Rice has his fingerprints all over it. It like
Oh yeah.
consistently, not to say that the team at large is just not great because they are, but anything that
Mhm.
Mod Rice touches, I feel has this like added Salt Bay, like just the sprinkle on top
Mhm.
it it is very, very noticeable the things that he's worked on because of the level of thought and care he puts into every detail. Blood Moon, or he's got Perilous Moons, you've got Yama, potentially some Raids 4 stuff. It's just like he's doing a lot of great
Oh
things
yeah.
for this game, and I'm so glad. It's really cool to think back that he was like our first J mod. Not that we're friends with him, but there is this connection too, and so we picked a good one to be our first J mod. I would say.
100%. I think that's my like overall and probably like the last negative thing I have to say about the summit is as Tiki described it, very whelming.
Oh,
Not underwhelming by any stretch of the imagination, not overwhelming by any
you're
means
very
with like, oh
whelmed
my
right
god, look at
now.
all this crazy new stuff. It's kind of exactly what we thought it was going to be with none of our out there outlandish predictions coming to fruition, which all things considered, I suppose is not too bad, right?
Yeah,
First up on the list, let's honestly just go left to right, briefly touch on what here is coming.
sick.
Dead man mode. How you feeling?
I'm excited to do it. I really got into Deadman mode last time. They did it. I don't remember what it was called then, but they make it. They're like their goal and what they're trying to do moving forward is just to make Deadman mode more casual friendly. They've said it a lot during the little Q&A at the end of the summit that this is more. This isn't like a hardcore competition anymore. I think they're moving the idea of Deadman mode being this big game event to All Stars, something that they can control. And it's not
Mhm.
just, all of these toxic PvP clans winning thousands of dollars every year. It's like you're giving creators the platform and you're giving a solo mission the platform to be able to make a really cool PvP event. And Deadman mode, while there's a finale and while there's probably prizes and stuff, I think it's less of a spotlight thing and it's more of just like, hey, this is on par with leagues as far as events go. It's for everyone.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fun. I think I'm working remotely that Friday. So in between slash after seeing clients, I'll be able to go pop in and play a little bit of that,
Nice.
which is cool.
Because it's on a Friday, right?
Yeah. Not much else to say about DMM
Hold on a second.
other than
DMM comes out tomorrow. If people are listening to this
yes.
on day of release. So get ready for
Yes. DMM
DMM
comes out
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Hmm.
Fun stuff.
It sounds like you're sick that day. RIP.
Or
I
Frozen.
what are your thoughts on Chicago?
Chicago may or may not happen for me, but if we can swing it to where it's like a weekend thing, then I probably will
Friday,
go.
Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
Friday after work and then leave Sunday afternoon. Be home for like Monday activities, you know?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty interesting because Michael and I would obviously like meet up and probably stay together, but I don't know if we would necessarily travel together. I'll probably take the train from Michigan. Michael will probably fly in from Texas. June 20th is a personally disappointing date because I'm considering going back to Chicago later in July for my 30th and just going with like my mom, my sister,
Oh,
and
fun.
missus and like having a fun little like 5 day stretch there.
Yeah.
So part of me was like, what are the chances that DMM is going to be the same weekend? And it's just going to be this ultimate, like everything that Oxie likes to do, we get to do for
Oh
the
yeah, because
birthday
he's a
in
big
one weekend.
3-0.
Yeah, but it's still fine. If I have to, I guess if I have to go to Chicago twice. You know? So if Michael and I can make it out there, we'll let you guys know, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
maybe we can do something in the evening after the big DMM finale. Because part of me does think it would be fun to watch PvP live, like you're at a sporting event. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see PvP live.
I think a lot of things are different when you experience it in person versus when you
Yeah,
are just watching it on a screen, and you're not really like, I wouldn't go because I care to see people do PvP. This is more so me going for the event and the people that we would get to see and meet.
yeah. It's the equivalent of like a con almost, where like
Mhm.
it's. You know, I don't care too much about the panels, but it's going to be interesting. I'm sure it could be fun. And then honestly, if it sucks, we just leave. But who knows? So Dead Man mode starts tomorrow, and then Annihilation, not Annihilation, the Dead Man All Stars is in the weekend of June 20th. So keep your eyes out for that. Not really much else to say about Dead Man. Maybe Michael and I
rewards are
will give you
cool.
our thoughts on Dead Man. The rewards are cool. Maybe Michael and I will play it, give you guys some thoughts on the first week, see how it's going.
Yeah.
But ooh, demonic pacts.
Let's go.
There's a lot of really cool things about demonic pacts, but there's one really, 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 really bad thing about demonic pacts, Michael. And what is that?
We have to figure out our bingo dates again. But listen,
I am gonna
we
need
are months ahead of where we were last time. We are months ahead. So it's okay.
everybody in the TNL Discord, everybody who's ever listened to Xpwaste. I think I might need your guys' IP addresses because one of you motherfuckers is telling Jagex when we have things planned so that Jagex can interrupt it. I don't think this isn't even the first time we have run into the problem of, hey, there's a league coming up and there's this big exciting release coming up. It's not even the first time this has happened, right? Remember it happened with Leagues 5. So it's happening again with League 6 after we fucking moved it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, we're good to go. Let's do it earlier in April. We should be fine. Now they're doing an April league. So here is what I'm optimistic about. The dates we have talked about so far internally for Springo seem pretty okay, right? You know, we've got some potential for what we could do for Springo planning and when the Springo dates will be. I don't remember what they were off the top of my head. I have a sneaking suspicion this is not set in stone. 11th through the 18th, just as an idea of April. Ideally, they say, all right, league starts on the 29th of April. So I'm hoping it's a late April start, because if it's a mid-April start, either Springo becomes summer bingo or y'all motherfuckers better start taking time off soon, because we're going to have to get some shit out there fast. If it starts Easter Sunday, that will be fucking diabolical. Easter is the 6th, I believe.
And yeah,
Easter
we were trying
2026.
the dates that we have tentatively chosen have they were based around not trying to interrupt holidays in the US.
Yes, so it would be the weekend after Easter Sunday. So it'd be is what we were discussing was the 11th through the 18th.
I have a sneaking
I guess
suspicion.
now we're gonna fucking see.
I feel like Leagues is gonna be mid-April. I really do.
Brother.
Or the beginning of April. Like I feel like all of April is gonna be dedicated to Leagues.
Yeah, it's gonna
and
be the month that they fucking it's gonna be the week that we initially decided is when it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out fucking April 15th. So that is really a killer. So I guess look out for possibly a bingo sign up soon. We just put pedal to the metal and really struggle to rip a bingo out quick for Springo. It's not gonna be a struggle. We have a lot of it like already like designed. The infrastructure is there for bingo. but like our time frames at what we like you guys to do, you figure it's already the end of January. We have like a month to run it like the week
2
before
months,
Easter.
yeah.
Like
But that's not on
it's gonna be tight.
that's not on we're not talking about that here, right? We're not gonna
It is it's a community issue for us,
Yeah,
which
but
is why
like
because it's gonna be 6 to 8 weeks long, so it could fuck with bingo a lot. So that's what's top of my mind. Everything else about this league looks fucking sick.
Mhm. I was theorizing we starting in the Chasm of Fire just because it's so Yama themed that it would make sense that as soon as you spawn in, the first person you talk to is Yama and he's like, "Welcome to my league. And now sign this
Mhm.
contract that says you'll play, but for every death, like, cuz isn't the contract that he has that once you die, you're a servant of Yama or something? I can't remember what the dialogue was all about, but
No.
no, he wants you to kill people.
I
I
don't
can't remember. Anyway,
no.
it's gonna be very fun and thematic. I think this is the first time, and I mentioned this during our stream. I think this is the first time that we've seen a league themed around a single NPC slash boss.
Mhm.
So besides Twisted League, which was very much themed around the idea of Zaya, but the big attraction there was Chambers. This is going to be well. I say that, but if we start where the Chasm of Fire is, everybody will have a chance to kill Yama. So I hope that it's at least in that region, which is a very interesting start for a league because that's Zaya.
What I think they're gonna do is kind of like with Shattered Relics, so there was like the music video and the little intro, whatever. I think the league's tutorial will be opening in the Chasm of Fire. You kind of plop in, and Yama's like, "Hey, I see you've been fucking around." Maybe his dialogue changes based on how many leagues you've participated in. Like, you've been fucking around in
Ooh,
leagues, right? And now we have control of it. I control the league. This league is mine. Here's how you use your league menu. Here are the league points. Here are the league tasks. You're going to sign this contract for me. And in doing so, I'm immediately going to give you a prize, which is your first relic. And then fuck off. And you'll be teleported to Karen Castle.
oh, sick!
Like that could be a
That
pretty
would be
cool.
really
Like the
fun.
Chasm of Fire is a really weird place to start. I understand why people would suggest Chasm of Fire, but like if you look at what's around there, there's a bank. There's like not even choppable trees nearby.
It's near
You
Shazian,
know,
yeah.
it's not the best start point in the world, but you start a little bit over in the catacombs of Kourend, not the catacombs, in the kingdom of Kourend. There are choppable trees, obviously not too far from there. I feel like yes, obviously there's gonna be small choppable trees at the Chasm of Fire. Someone's gonna go there and be like, "Oh, Moxie, there's regular trees," or whatever. But I feel like Kourend as a free region unlock
Kourend is a
is
free
not only
region.
crazy
That's
strong, but
insane.
also a like super fun thing. They probably give us Karamja for free as well.
You think? Or would they? Because here's how I would view Karamja. Karamja would always be linked with Mistalin. If you pick Mistalin, you get Karamja. Since it's not like a region per
It
se.
is.
I know it's a region, but the reason that you get it in leagues is because it's so small and the content offered doesn't make sense for it to be its own unlock. It's like you get Fossil Island if you pick Mistlin, I think. Or, so like there's
Eh,
certain areas that you get.
not quite the same thing.
So then how would you how would you work around Karamja then having to be something that people choose?
So Karamja is its own region. The reason it feels so tied to Mistlin is because it's always the one you get in the league's tutorial.
Yeah.
So in the league's tutorial, when you start, you choose Karamja as a region to get players familiar with the region's selection option. Which, like, cool, that's great. They could put us into Karamja again, right? I don't think Karamja is a given freebie. I think it makes the most sense because you're right. There's not really much to do in Karamja. It's not quite. I say it's not the same as Fossil Island because like Fossil Island has like Irby, Ammonite crabs, fucking wyverns. Like there's really not too much to do. Whereas Karamja has best in slot caves, right?
Soggy or
Speaking of
Wolaznik.
regions, you'll be able to see Karam. Wozniak says you'll be able to receive Karamja for free. Oh, won't come as an automatic unlock. Okay. Well, Losnick out here making us all look dumb again. This motherfucker is our Jagex contact. He's our Jagex leak. He's not even a contact in a good way. He's like a spy, you know? He's like
Double agent.
central intelligence for Jagex.
Speaking of regions, you'll still be able to receive Karamadra for free, but this time it won't come as an automatic unlocked during the tutorial, but will instead come as a free unlock within your first few hours of playing.
Well,
That settles it. But still,
I was gonna say, because the only other region that would make sense to be a free unlock because it's continentally connected would be Varlamore, and that would be fucked.
crazy to get Zaya and Varlamore
That would be
together.
Zaya Varlamore start would be fucked. That would be, you really wouldn't even need to go anywhere else at that point.
No.
Excited for the Echo bosses?
Yeah. I think that theming them differently might I if they are echo bosses, great. That's cool that they bring carry it over. But I hope that they don't do the easy thing and just still call them echo bosses because it made sense with Raging Echoes. I hope that they call them like either demonic versions or like corrupted versions of the boss. And during the summit, we had our stream. Nate Dogg was even saying that like it would be cool if they dropped Yama contracts and you had to do a special contract-esque fight of that boss. Just how in the Echo versions counted, like there was a different mechanics, but the theming is that this contract is something that you would do to get whatever reward comes from that boss. So, and you know, like Echoes are awesome. If they're called Echoes again, I'm not going to complain. It's still cool, but I'm hoping that the theming is like consistent.
So what I think would be really cool is I 100% agree. I think you and Nate are cooking with how you get it because instead of Echo version, it's just a demonic version of the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it is a demonic version dropped via contract like Nate suggested, but it's a different creature per region. Some places like Desert's going to be tough. Desert's going to be tough to find something that isn't KQ. Are there any other bosses besides KQ in the desert other than Temporos? One could argue Leviathan. Not even, is Levi desert? Or can any of them be accessed through the desert? No, because you need Misthalin for Leviathan.
Can't you teleport
I don't know.
to the Wizard's Tower from the desert? Or was that only during the quest?
Wizard's Tower is Misthalin. So you would automatically unlock Desert Treasure 2 if you picked it. My point is that like you get this demonic contract, you unlock it permanently. Another thing that kind of backs up our Zaya start, it seems kind of stupid to theme a league around an NPC, specifically a boss, and not allow that boss to be fought by everybody because it's not automatic.
That's what I'm saying.
And in addition to Echo, is there now a not new version of Radiant, but is there a new Yama challenge?
Like hard mode Yama?
No, like Echo Yama, not like Radiant Yama, but like somewhere in the middle where like it's not objectively as hard as Radiant, but it's also harder than the original boss version. I think you guys are kind of cooking with the newly themed bosses. We're probably going to see some old favorites come back, old items, but
and this could be a really controversial take, but is the Kopesh too overplayed now in limited time game mode since they brought it back for Gridmaster? Do we need something else that's not just, hey, get the Kopesh again, and then everybody's gonna want the Kopesh because they played with it in Gridmaster. It has become a staple sort of meta driving weapon. Not a lot of people chose the Wilderness, so you didn't always, not like everybody got to experience it in leagues, but in Gridmaster, it was the weapon of choice for most content.
The alternate question is, because we know the Thunder Kopesh is coming via Deadman Mode Annihilation.
Is it really?
Is it? Yes, it's coming from those Deadman chests. Is it now too much of a staple to not have?
I don't know. That's so
Has the Thunder
hard.
Kopesh reached near last recall status? Who knows? So
Like
I don't
Banker's
know. Maybe
Node
they'll
and
mix
all
up
those
some of the
relics.
rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they'll mix up some of the
Well, because
rewards.
here's the thing, I
Who
don't
knows?
want to play the same league just with a different theme. You know what I
I don't
mean?
think we will because they're talking about reimagining combat masteries, and it seems like that's also going to be via contracts.
Hell yeah.
It seems like combat masteries reimagined are not going to be the same as what we saw in Gridmaster. They might be a little bit more expansive, which could be fun, where you could specialize in other things beyond range melee mage,
Yeah.
you know? So could
Cool.
be interesting. Any more thoughts on leagues?
I'm sure we'll have many, many more episodes talking
I
about
said,
this
Lord
'cause
knows y'all gonna hear us talk about leagues a lot.
it's coming
Yeah,
soon.
y'all gonna hear us talk about it a lot. Summer sweep up, we're pretty.
TBD, I guess.
We have no TBD. We have no idea. Last summer sweep up dumped a bunch of quality of life and our first real viral episode on us. So who knows? We'll see what this summer sweep up brings.
And then the next big quest, right? Is that coming? That's in summer.
I
Blood Moon
believe so.
Rises.
Yes, Blood Moon Rises.
We already talked about
Needless
that.
to say,
but
I'm very excited.
yeah, it's going to be fun. I think that
Yeah.
in terms of finishing out quest lines, I'm always for that, because I think Ed said it's been since 2018 that at least he's been
Mhm.
working on it. Not to say that, because they have this quest, in RuneScape 3 or the equivalent, right? But we get our spin on it. We get our take on it. We get to have old school's version of this iconic quest in the game, and it finishes out a storyline, which is it's always fun to see.
It's gonna be cool. A lot of cool stuff. They said the hardest quest boss ever, which is gonna be
Really?
fucked because I feel like the Livernial fight's gonna be fucked. They have released a lot of very hard quest bosses in their day. When you first fought, oh my god, who is it? Not Ranish Draken. The fucking Vanstrom. When you fought Vanstrom, I thought that fight was hard. And then they had the assassin from TOA. And then they had the entirety of Desert Treasure 2 just being hard bosses. This is gonna be fucked.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm excited. But this is gonna be fucked.
That quest cape is getting harder and harder, fellas. It's getting harder and harder. Lumbee Elite,
More prestigious.
prestigious.
More prestigious by the update.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about sailing stuff that's coming out? The sailing roadmap?
I'm sure we'll get into it throughout the roadmap's existence. But like I'm the one thing I do want to say is that I'm excited that they're working on the things that the community has put forth as their priority. So if you didn't watch the
Mhm.
summit, they basically had a pre-recorded bit where they were talking about their roadmap. And then they sent out the survey, and the survey results actually changed the roadmap. So now we're getting
Yeah.
content updates before we're getting like I think it's the Red Reef sequel. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what the team has cooked up for combat specifically, because right now
I think you can read about it in the blog what they're trying to
Oh,
change.
sick.
We haven't read it,
I haven't read
right?
the
We
blog.
haven't read it.
these are
but
just thoughts on the actual summit.
yeah.
But it is going to be a good year for sailing as well. I said that last year. Like 2026, it will be the year of sailing updates and beyond, because I don't know if this is confirmed, but like they even said potentially not even in 2026 will we see all of the oceans and seas become available. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's beyond 2026 because they've just had to move some development time.
Yeah.
Cool. Sailing updates. Cool.
A new
don't-
glide or a new Barracuda trial, rather.
A new Barracuda trial.
We
Michael was like, I love Barracuda trials. What are you talking about? And I kind of put a side eye up. I'm like, I mean, it's fought me 3 weeks ago about going to Gwyneth Glide. What?
No, I like them as
So-
content. I think the content is great. Do I enjoy doing
You just don't
glide
like doing
after
them.
glide after glide after glide? Not really. But I do think it's for the training method that I'm most surprised of. It's the Barracuda trials. I had zero expectations of those being good or bad or whatever, but they've definitely exceeded any perceived expectations of, well, that's going to be shit. That's just like agility. That's going to be bad, at least for
Mhm.
hopefully the community at large.
Do we think, I know we kind of talked about this during the live stream a little bit, for the people listening after the fact, do we think that this trial is going to be inherently higher level than Gwyneth Clyde?
It has to be, because to put something in the game that's lower than the hardest thing that you did on release is weird. Unless this was like a level 5 Barracuda trial. Unless this is really aimed at the at like the early stages of the game, because maybe they thought, hey, 6 hours of port task is kind of dull. And then once you hit 30, sailing becomes fun. But I don't think so. I really think this will be high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah. They did say, Tiki did remind us, it did say that it will be the most difficult Barracuda
Sure, well,
trial.
there you go.
But it could be difficult in other ways, right? Like Gwyneth Glide is different than Jubbly Jive, but I think is harder to get the Marlin time for sure. Looking around the ocean where there's like not a lot of stuff, the northern part of the ocean by Brittle Isle, where you get the salvaging spots, there's not really much up there. And then if you go down south of Varlamore, south of Alderan specifically, there's really not much at all.
Mm.
There's some trawling spots, and then another good one is the southern expanse by the kelp forests. There's not
Yeah.
really much there, and it could pose, because if you look at the Barracuda trials, right, they all have interesting environmental pieces to them that take up a pretty big swath of sea,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's got to be some decent space available where it could make sense to put in high level one. The time is going to be fucked, because if you're going with an ironwood minimum, there's only one way to go, and it's the 40 million GP redwood upgrade.
Oh.
Or not redwood, rosewood upgrade.
Is it still that
So
expensive?
the times are going to be
Oh,
fucked.
gosh.
I think the nails are like, I got a couple of my
Still
inventory
100K
right now from
each or
salvaging.
something?
No, they're 50K each. So nails are 50K each, but you need 300 of them for a skiff.
Oh my gosh.
So it's gonna add up.
Yeah.
But
we have time.
I don't. Yeah, you got time. You got time.
My
But,
prediction.
I think that's gonna be cool.
My prediction
Oh.
for where it will be, and they really would have to figure this out, because with the expansion, I think it's going to be in Mauritania on that right side of the map, or maybe even a wilderness themed glide. But again, they haven't opened that, and they're not planning to open it until later in 2027 potentially. But they could still
I was
do
gonna say,
tiny parts of the ocean being opened, and they don't have to do the entire northern ocean opened.
so all of those other oceans have various environmental hazards that make it impossible to traverse right now. So you can't open just a chunk of it. You'd have to open the
Lot of
entire
it.
like
Damn.
colored
Damn.
block of the sea. So it does kind of suck, but because I think you're absolutely cooking with that, where you could have like a Mauritania. Mauritania is a prime spot, like just
Mhm.
east of Sleep. That's a prime spot for a really fucking hard Barracuda trial. It's not open,
Right. That's the thing.
So I don't know.
All of the trials have something you work towards to give you access to it, right? So you need the inoculation station to get to the Jubbly. You need an upgraded sail to actually start doing.
Upgraded, the helm and keel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you need the thing that, like, you need something to be able to get into the crystal flecked waters. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you're right. The sail is for temper tantrum. The inoculation is for jive, and then you need the better helm and keel or whatever it is for the crystal fleck waters. You're right.
So that's why I'm
So-
thinking if they continue with this path of consistency, it has to be a new ocean. But then there's conflicting info on whether or not they're opening the new oceans. The new trial, I could see that being pushed if what we're talking about is true, where they're wanting to put it in a new ocean. I could see the new trial being pushed, but that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. There's potential for it, but I think the sailing update is neat. There's a lot of other cool new stuff coming for sail. Just go check out the blog.
Yeah, read the blog. We'll probably have an episode or two dedicated to more sailing updates, obviously, because we're an old school RuneScape podcast, but we're a sailing podcast too.
We could very well
Yarg,
be, yeah.
yarg.
Two quick ones before we get into the big final
The
one
big boy?
here. Runefest, 3rd and 4th.
Let's
we're
go.
going.
It's happening.
Yeah. We're Jagex, we're going as creators. I'm gonna just manifest it right now. We're getting the creator wristbands, we're going as creators, and I'm manifesting there is also going to be a podcast category this year. We're making it happen.
Fingers crossed,
Podcast
everyone.
category for the Golden Gnomes. It's already make it so.
Make it so.
It's already been.
Universe.
It's already been. It's already been announced, but that's not true. At least it's not true right now. Could you imagine? The bingo community feature, cool. To the people who are inevitably going to ask,
We probably won't use it.
maybe probably
for
not,
small events.
unless if they release a team feature, sure. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like you can have. There's not a team functionality.
Yeah,
So that kind of invalidates how we do fall bingo. Unless you guys want to solo fall bingo.
be
Fall
cool.
bingo by yourself. Iron Man fall bingo. Awful.
It would be
Sounds
kind
terrible.
of a miss to not use it, at least for something. But some of our bigger tier events.
To say not our 400 person.
No,
bingo.
that's what I'm saying. Like we can't. I don't think it's going to have enough functionality for us to be able to do it. They said it's grid functionality in your hands. So maybe, but for a weekend bingo, like a 1v1v1v1, a battle royale, maybe. Who knows? That doesn't really work for bingo.
Oh. We'll see. But it's coming. And then in addition to all the other small, little, tiny stuff
Cow boss?
that's coming,
Moo?
Cow Boss,
Moo?
dude. Why
milk me,
did they
mommy?
save the Cow Boss? Why did they save the Cow Boss for the very end?
I think,
Like-
honestly, that in their minds, this was going to be more hype than it was because they were gassing themselves up about the creators who were just there the week before, all loving the Cow Boss and like ditching the raids 4 playtests to go kill the hard mode boss. I literally think that they thought this was going to go over better than it did.
But you didn't pitch it as a hard mode boss.
No,
you pitched it as a
as a free to play boss.
and I quote 15 attack and strength, maybe iron armor, free to play boss.
with a PB
That
of 8
doesn't get- and then-
seconds.
and then with Arcane saying, "Oh yeah, you can unironically kill this thing in 2 ticks." To follow it up with, "What if it was awakened boss level hard as well?" Like, okay,
They didn't seem too excited about it, which is to your point. Why did you save it
it's-
for last?
exactly. Like that would have been something that we could have heard about in the middle of the summit. That's like, oh, neat. Like, I'm not gonna vote no against Cow Boss. Whatever. It's a free to play boss. Cool. Get new players hooked in.
Yeah.
Sure. That's totally. I don't have any objection to that. I don't. Whatever. I'll kill it with my scythe in 2 ticks and have a really fast PB for the combat achievements when it comes out.
We could do
Whatever.
Oxie, hear me out. We could do Cow Boss Weekend, where we make everybody make a new free to play account, and we time everyone. You have an hour of playtime, and whoever gets either the most Cow Boss kills or like the fastest PB on a fresh account wins. Because it's free to play. You don't
Could
need to have
be.
membership to kill it.
Could be fun. I don't know. Cow Boss. The rewards are cool. Like.
Moving on.
I don't know what exactly.
Yeah,
Moving on.
moving
I
on.
don't know what else to talk about. Whatever.
Are we talking
Cool.
about-
It'll be on the bingo. The bottomless bucket will be on the bingo board. I'm sure. But finally, the last notable thing to discuss before we wrap
Fred.
up this here episode, Fred.
Fred. I am
The Fractured
Team
Archive
Fred.
Raids 4.
I'm Team Fred. And if they don't
TFA.
if we don't band together as a community now to market this as the raid's name, it will fall through the cracks. And we need to band together as a community to make raids 4 Fred. Please. I think that would be the most hilarious thing we could do as a community is take a raid and just call it Fred.
Could you imagine spending years of your life dedicated to lore and crafting a story, and then off of that story, using the lore from a universe you and others have already built to create the Theater of Blood on steroids? Michael, your entire camera is shaking.
Oh, sorry.
to create this theater of blood on steroids level raid that you so wonderfully call the Fractured Archive, only to have the entire community of 250,000 people you're showing it to go, Fred.
It's Bofa all over again.
Tiki brings up the same point. Yeah, Bofa, exactly. Bofa, cum face, cocks. Like,
It's
yeah,
all
like it's
it's Runescape,
I
bro.
understand that. I know I'm not. Listen, I'm all for Fred. I'm just saying I think it's kind of funny that like this is so much work and then Fred. Like, but yes, I agree because it was brought up that you can't really say TFA. You could say
Tifa.
Cox, Tob, and Toa or whatever,
Tifa.
but you can't say Tfa.
You can say
know?
Tifa.
Yeah, you could,
That's
but
I don't like that. I like Fred.
Tifa or Fred.
Or just Fa.
Tifa or Fred.
Faye? Arc was another
Yeah.
suggestion that I think could be fun. The Arc raid. But that leans too heavily into another gaming franchise that I think it could get confusing.
So the name of the content aside, we now have a
yes.
new boss rush raid that is it's based off the lore from While Gothic Sleeps and What Happens Beyond. It's probably going to be set in the Gothixian temple area, and it seems like it's gonna be fucking sick. They said
Yeah.
it's gotta stay up to par with current combat standards. So the stats are gonna be ridiculously high
Mm-hmm.
on these monsters because of like what's in the game right now
Yeah.
between all the three combat styles. And if you listen to how they spoke about combat at RuneFest and how they talked about the TOA bosses, they all kind of admit that like the TOA bosses have too much going on. Whereas if you look at another boss like Zarpus was the example that they used. Zarpus is not mechanically difficult. It just punishes you for a mistake.
Yeah.
Players make it harder by learning these little micro efficiencies like the 5.2 tick walk and then the 5 tick Zarpus. Like
Mm-hmm.
so
I'm hoping mechanically it's not going to be off the wall. Like to your
he
example.
said it's gonna be fucking hard.
For your in
though.
your example though, Akka could be the final boss of Toa,
Mhm.
but it's not. It's one of the demi bosses. So it's like if we can get a boss rush where the mechanics that are familiar but refreshed or
Mhm.
refreshing, but still make it difficult, I think that would be the sweet spot that I would like to see. Because again,
Yeah.
I don't want to see another raid where every one of the bosses could be the final boss.
Exactly.
I want the final boss to be the big battle, but you're going through the minions to get there. I mean, that's kind of how Chambers is, but they give you the skilling breaks in the puzzle rooms, right? Like
Yeah,
on
they
its
said there's none of
own,
that. It's literally going to be another theater of blood from what they're describing in the blog.
Like on its own, Tecton is not hard. Tecton, you run around in a circle and it heals. That's pretty easy. So on that level, it doesn't have to be that easy, but it can be that simple to grasp is what I'm trying to get at. Like don't make it
Mhm.
easy, make it easy to grasp.
Yeah. So a little bit of explanation on what the raid actually is. You will be able to solo the raid, but the current plan is for the raid to scale between 2 and 8. So it's going to be more akin to soloing Theater of Blood than it will be soloing TOA. Possible, but it's going to suck. They said there will be a practice mode, which allows players to jump into any boss in the raid and practice killing it on regular difficulty. However, this mode is not available on release and will instead launch in the weeks following. This will keep things competitive in the early days and add more excitement to every deep run until the raid has been figured out. That is going to be so nice for learners. I cannot wait for someone to get into the raid because for all my tobbers out there, how many times have you taken a competent learner and they're alive in every single room? Everything is going great. They take one crab at P2 Verzik and within 4 ticks they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire every progress they've made is just like they're sitting in the cage watching. I think the ability to send a learner directly into the Verzik room would be super helpful. And I think this system is going to be great for teaching people this raid
Yeah.
when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then finally, other than needing while Gothic sleeps, but they say on release, a full team wipe will reset the raid. But in the weeks following, they'll move to a TOA style wipe system where you have infinite tries, but reduced rewards and dwindling resources.
I like that actually.
So that's not too bad. I think obviously you want to do it wipeless, you want to do it deathless, right? That's the case in TOA and Chambers. Like, you don't want to have an excessive amount of deaths. But I'd be interested to see if once you died, you could respawn. I'd be interested to see if your own kind of like Chambers, where your own personal supplies are dwindled. And I don't want to drop the salvage.
Well, if you not to be pedantic, but they say a full team wipe. You can't full team wipe in Chambers because everybody just comes back.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think they'll maybe adjust that in the weeks following to be more like a chamber system?
Oh,
where when you die, you can maybe there's like a delay, so you can't like go in
like a reboot card
or something
for Fortnite.
Something, yeah. Michael and I have been playing a lot of Fortnite with our significant others, so you can tell it's kind of been leaking into. I'm surprised this is the first time we brought it up.
I know, right?
But so Raise 4 seems like it's going to be hype. The concept arts they've put out for the Saradominist and the Gothixian, they have some really nice art in this raid. When they were going through the trailer and they showed the different god symbols, that's why I thought it was God Wars Dungeon 2. I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be nutty.
What if each of the bosses is themed to a god? If it is Wall Gothic,
they might each be.
If it's themed around the gods in this Wall Gothic Sleeps quest, each god could have its own minion that you're fighting. And then when you get to the end, you fight whatever this final boss is going to be. I think that would be sick.
I have 2 points, and for the most part, I do agree. So one of the concept arts is the Justiciar. It's the Saradomin, because if you watch the trailer, there's like the Saradomin symbol in fire. But you also saw a Bandosian symbol and the Zamorakian symbol. And you got this big tree guardian guy, right? The Archive Guardian. That seems very Gothixian. So it seems like we have, most of the main gods other than Armadillo. The Armadillo is going down to help, so who knows? I think it's gonna be interesting to see what the final boss is, which kind of leads into my second point. They mentioned it in the stream when talking about the PC, but during the actual stream, Tiki sent an image that we can send, or we can put on screen now, sent an image of the Starforge Labs wall art, the 25th anniversary old school RuneScape wall art. And I'll put it in the recording booth chat now for people who aren't caught up. It's this photo that they put in that showcases a lot of old school specific bosses, except for one. It says old school RuneScape collaboration, and it has all but one boss that is featured in old school RuneScape. And that would be, to the right of Ziliana, what looks like Telos. Telos is an enraged boss that is in RS3. Telos, from what I have seen and heard, is very difficult. It's like the 4,000% enrage or whatever they do. On the wiki, it says Telos is an anima construct created by the Elder Gods, resides in the heart of Gielinor. I don't know much about all that lore. To me, that sounds very, very much like a Gothixian thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is a god alignment for Telos, but if there was, it looks like that. So they mentioned that the artwork has bosses from RuneScape and old school RuneScape. If you look, none of the bosses on that sheet are exclusive to old school RuneScape. From top to bottom, we have KBD, Commander Ziliana, General Gardor, Telos, Elvard, Corporeal Beast, and Jad. None of them are exclusive to old school RuneScape. All of them are found in RS3. So one of two things happen. Number one, whoever made this didn't pay attention and just looked up bosses and thought, yeah, that green and blue guy looks cool, and put it in, not noticing the difference. Or the least likely option is that somebody fucked up and accidentally spoiled part of the raid. That, like, Telos is going to be the final boss. I don't think it's going to be like that, but it is very possible. It is very possible. It's also very improbable too. It just seems odd they'd choose Telos.
Well, so
right?
the way that kind of framed all of this is that this is something that they're doing as the old school team, but this partnership and collaboration is really to signify 25 years. And so maybe you're right in that somebody who designed this didn't really think about the fact that this was going to be an old school centric release. But all of these bosses started out in RuneScape 2. None of these are brand new exclusive to old school. So when you think about it in terms of an anniversary piece of merchandise, Telos being on there, while kind of out of left field, he is part of RuneScape in the 25
Telos
years of
came
it.
out in Telos came out in 2016.
I mean, it's still that's 10 years ago.
That's after the release of old school. It's just, again, I just think it is a strange choice of bosses to pick, because I can see where the iconic theme is Jad, Corp, Elvar, God Wars Dungeon, KBD. Why Telos? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Yeah, it's Vacant Void also mentions that the whole thing is listed as the old school RuneScape collaboration. That's how they break down their site, and they just didn't want to add a whole new category for 25th anniversary. It could be. Again, we could be grasping at straws for just whatever random shit. Like, there isn't only an OSRS boss. Exactly. Like Tiki says, it's weird that the one unique boss is individual to RS3. None of the other bosses. Like, think of an iconic old school boss off the top of your head without saying, shout it out, just an old school. Say it. Go.
Yama,
Sure. Name another one.
Zulrah.
There it is. Of the bosses in old school that you would argue have the most, like,
Yeah, I would say
known,
Sirac or like Zulrah should have been on that, and I thought that that's what that one in the middle was, but it's breathing fire,
exactly.
so it's definitely not.
For an old school. You'd think it would be
That middle one should have been Zulrah with the wings.
Verzik, like, even fucking like Mimic or something. Put the Duke on there. Like, it just seems so odd, you know?
Yeah. Listen, this could age badly, or this could age like crazy in the coming years.
It could be a dog shit take from Michael and I. We genuinely have no idea. It's just something we pointed out that, like, maybe somebody slipped up and we know who the final boss or a boss in Raids 4 is going to be. Now, remember how I said this is going to be a shorter episode? I would love to speculate on raid mechanics, and I would love to speculate on raid rewards. We will be here for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I think we need to make the collective decision to maybe
save it for another episode.
Comfortable cap. Yeah, save it for another episode. Put a nice comfortable cap on the summit talk for right now. You guys got a little bit of our thoughts ahead of time. And I don't know. Michael, how are you feeling about wrapping it up?
Wrapping it up. I'm down. There's a lot of there's a lot of great things happening in 2026. We will have content upon content to yap about. So that is good for the podcast. There's no shortage of that. So anything you guys have questions about or curious about with our reactions or our thoughts, hit us up in Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL, and we would be happy to chat. Hit us up in the Xpwaste chat after you listen to this or after you watch the summit, and let's chat about all of the new things happening in the game.
Absolutely. What a wonderful plug there, Michael. Great job. So, like Michael said, needless to say, you're going to be hearing a lot from us here in the near future with all this stuff coming up. If you want to hear more of us, check out our links, do out all the things you guys would normally do. We're going to see what next episode is. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk Dead Man mode. Maybe we'll finally have a guest. We just got to get on the Michael in the middle of the summit. Michael was DMing people to come on the show. So we'll see if any of that comes to fruition, but we'll see. We'll see you guys in Dead Man mode tomorrow, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode.
Bye everyone.